Good evening. Good evening. Happy Sunday, or good Sunday evening. A little bit early, so it's 5:49 p.m. We'll be opening up in about probably another 11, well now 10-15 minutes. So either right at 6, sometimes 6:05. I've seen it, and I'm just gonna look at maybe a couple possibilities like right at the open. This isn't. I thought about it. I'm actually not going to sit in too long, so this will be like a super short kind of a live. Um, Couple reasons for that. I think honestly, it may take a little while. Turn that down a little. There we go. That should be better. Um, I think it's going to take a little bit of time for things to kind of pan out this evening, and then conversely, like it could not. We actually do have some fairly decent economic news and things going on this week. So, just to kind of go over that really quick, this is actually today. So today or Monday, if you will. So obviously overseas already Monday. So last week when I did the weekly recap and review and and quote unquote the rant, if you will, I talked about like not so much economic news and whatnot, but I had to go back and waited for everything to refresh here to kind of pull down and show what was going to be what. So this is actually a CPI week. It's also a PPI, as well as some Fed speakers, which usually corrals some of the CPI data. One of the reasons why I said that either today or tomorrow I'd be looking to take a position. Not really interested, especially with the way a lot of things are going on. I'm not really interested in trading any of the PPI or CPI or around the Fed heads speaking. So between Tuesday and Thursday, I think member Williams is speaking like twice in the week. I think it's either Tuesday and Wednesday. Yeah. So Tuesday, Williams speaks at like 3:05, and I think it's either Wednesday or Thursday. He speaking again. So just with that kind of stuff, I'm not really interested. So tomorrow, not any real high impact anything. But as I said, going into Tuesday we'll have PPI at 8:30, core PPI. Wednesday you're going to have CPI. Yeah. So Wednesday 8:30 will be CPI, core CPI, year over year and month over month. There, and like I said, there be Fed speakers, which again I look at that as just like another layer of some level of manual intervention. Thursday we'll get into retail sales, and then basically you go into initial jobless claims. That's also going to be at 8:30, and Friday is kind of housing. Not kind of housing, it is housing. So you've got the initial housing number at 8:30 and industrial production. So all in all, I mean, it's really like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of this week. Will that make it volatile? Yeah. Yeah. I haven't watched Tron in a while. I feel like Jeff Bridges in Tron, the newer Tron. Yeah. So there's that. So quick, brief pseudo markup as we're looking at NQ. So I typically don't really do like previous day high low, but I just put that in here for context. And then if you're looking at the rays again, I talked about this briefly before. So my blue horizontals are basically that November 21st inside. Ideally I'd like to just see this delivered to. Don't know how that's going to really play, but it would serve a couple of purposes. It would actually clear out previous day low, which could or not indicate how some of the economic data will be received, and how that will play out during the week. What I don't have on here, which you don't see because I've not gone and tried to transcribe or annotate any of those levels lower. But let me go up, because 5 minute pinching that all the way down is gonna be a little conflicting. But I will do it this way. There's still sell side that resides down here, so I would just say, be cautious if you're trading this week. If you're trading during, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, just be aware, be cautious. One bit of information that I would share, obviously not financial advice, but just information. Look at, or look towards the weekly profile to kind of maybe give you an indication as to how you may want to position yourself, or how you may want to play out any kind of trade ideas that you have for, say, Wednesday or Thursday. So you use the daily, and then use the weekly profile. I've discussed that previously on the channel live stream, and then also in video. Probably after I get off from this live, I'll probably just add another card link in there. Hey, thanks for the sub, Richard. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'll add a card and a link to Justin Weirland. He is a also a more notable certified funded trader on a YouTube platform as a content creator. He has, I believe, like a playlist and then a specific video that talks about the weekly profile. So I have my way of explaining it. I would just add that video and a link in the description once I'm done here. And yeah, so I would like to see shorts, but there and again, just got to let the market kind of just warm up once it opens and see what it actually wants to deliver to and from. We may see a gap up because of what was left over from Friday. That really wouldn't be surprising to me. I'd almost be willing to anticipate that, but I think it'll be interesting nonetheless. So we've got about another 2 minutes to go. But while we're waiting for those 2 minutes, just one other update I kind of want to bring to you guys. So towards the end of last week, I really kind of finalized everything on Friday. So before I was still on Instagram, I have since decided like that aspect of like my social media presence and everything is gonna go the way of the dodo. So I'm not on Facebook anymore. I basically deleted my Instagram. So the only other social media or only other social platform outside of YouTube that you'll probably find me on is going to be Blue Sky. So that's something that I've been putting in the description of my my videos. So there I'll probably be trying to do a little bit more posting of day-to-day lifestyle stuff. Yeah, there'll still be like maybe some trading and some stuff like that, but just again trying to simplify and streamline quite a few things, and get rid of a lot of the additional noise that's out there. So realistically, that's the only purpose for that. All right, so about 45 seconds. Let's see which way we go. Kind of like I said at the outset, I'm probably only going to go maybe about an hour because if you know we're here all we're not going to be here all night, but I'm just simply saying like it may take, based on how the week may be setting up to play out. Today may start out like a old 1990 Honda Civic. If anybody's familiar with the early 90s Hondas, good running vehicles, but they always took a while to warm up. So good once you got them going, fluid levels and everything else considering. So that's a pretty sizable candle. Pretty sizable bearish candle. So here may be a well, because it's just opening, it may just run it. I was gonna say if we see a closure inside, I don't want to put another ray on here, but basically where I'm cursoring over. So if we see a close above where I'm cursoring here for this candle, we can probably run this out, maybe back up into this fair value. But because this is the opening candle, it's going to be hard to say. And I meant to mark this Friday, and I didn't. I didn't mark that Friday. I meant to, because I was looking at the two areas back here, and I didn't fill them out, because I saw these sitting one on top of the other, and I kind of felt like they were going to be important, but I felt like if they were in this order, like this one was going to get run out, and there's a reason for this. So I don't know if this is the reason or if this is for something later on, but it serves a purpose. We just don't know exactly what that is just yet. I can actually get rid of some of these now. This one is still going to be valid, and yeah, this stuff can go away. So I don't know, what are you guys' expectations for the week? What do you think we're looking at some bullish price action? Do you think the bottom's gonna fall out? What's your what are you guys' speculation? Your speculatory probabilities. Because I honestly, you know, my bias kind of is still short, but I still see that there's maybe some upside before, you know, maybe a continued sell off. It just has to make sense. All right, so we got just a little over a minute before this 5-minute 6 p.m. candle closes. So it'll be our first candle close for today, or on the new day. Okay, so it respected this fair value for now. All right, 20 seconds before candle closure. And again, if you need framework, or if you're looking for framework, like my framework is actually, well, let's see, candle closes now. All right. All right. So let's see what it does here. So this is kind of gonna, for me at least, it'll give me an idea of what's possible. So if we run out this candle low, if we respect this fair value, we close maybe back inside here, can maybe look for a very short term long, but we've got to wait for this candle to close and probably see what the response is from the next candle. Unless this is gonna run right back, which is also totally possible. All right, so swept out this candle. Let's see how it respects fair value down here. But just going back for a second, I was gonna say, if you're looking for like some kind of a framework from say Friday or range, I'd already talked about the blue horizontal for those 4-hour ranges. If you're looking for maybe Friday's range, you still have, I marked out my initial balance on both sides, and then also this basically ended up being Friday low of the day, or the Friday low, just say the Friday low. So that's also a little bit of an overarching range to operate within. Okay, so that's the CE for that fair value. Yeah, this will probably be a little interesting. All right, so again, so in order to even consider, in my opinion, to take this long, like I said, I can understand that it's already taken the low of this candle, traded back into fair value. We're actually respecting this, so could very well just as long as it respects this, could take the long back. I'm not going to be that presumptuous. Candle's going to close here in about another minute. Forgive my dog. Let's see. Like I said, I would like to see a closure back inside. Okay, so about another 20 seconds before this candle closes. Yeah, there's a part of me that's just saying it's just gonna pop up. It would be something like to be very conservative, it could be something like that. But like I said, my thing would be I'd have to see this candle close inside here to actually to consider taking it, because you know, if it plays around in here, which it can, like I said, we're at the open, so I'm not gonna say it's a free for all. I mean, obviously there's going to be positioning and pairing and whatnot to go on, but yeah, a closure inside maybe we'll do it. It's funny, the Sunday I decide to get on a live stream, now my sim racing buddies want to send me requests. They would have sent me requests to be like, hey, come drive cars with us. That's how it always works, doesn't it? Like when you're looking or you're expecting to do something, or you want to, you know, do something, you have nothing else going on, you're like, man, I wish. And then when you're doing something else, then all of a sudden that thing avails itself. So all good. All good. So no, even because I've got my PA account up, I could say, what the hell, just go ahead and do it. Let's see. I was talking to a buddy of mine. We kind of just talk about market and movement and different things. And one of the things that you know, we kind of shared with each other, we talked about, was the fact that, you know, when you first get into markets, it doesn't matter whether it's futures or anything else, like how we will develop like the unsustainable habits, right? The what if positions, you know, the oversizing and everything, so that when you actually are either trading in combines or live accounts or funded accounts or whatever, you have an unreasonable expectation of how, you know, price books, or, you know, what you think the delivery would be. But one of the things that we were talking about is, hey, you know, if you treat your practice accounts like you would treat like a combine or the funded accounts, it also helps, you know, any kind of FOMO that you have, or any kind of fear, or, you know, the emotion, tapping into the emotional side that can play in. It was something that we kind of agreed with and agreed on, and that's something that I've kind of started to do, where, you know, I'll literally just I don't have to push the button. It's kind of like I was doing before, like when I said, hey, we could start from here, or like if I just did something like this, like this would be enough. This would be satisfying enough for me to just say, hey, look, this would be the thing, right? That would be the idea. And then I could literally just kind of cursor away and then just watch and see, does it deliver? If it does, great. If it doesn't, you know, whatever, doesn't matter. It's the basically, again, revisiting, you know, proof of concept, but just doing it in a way that you don't necessarily have to push a button to do that. So having said all of that, we're coming up on 37. It's probably going to run and the RR is not going to be as great. But what we are going to do is I am going to, I'm going to jump in here. Oh, I don't like that. Don't do that. There we go. Freak me out, man. So that's all the way up there. So ideally, this is like my quote unquote long idea, because that's a 2 p.m. from Friday, so that would be my expectation. My low hanging fruit, however, is going to be here. It's going to be the first target for low hanging fruit. I'm just going to clone that because they're one on top of the next. And actually, let's do this real quick because I don't mind doing it. I'm going to have to add that back. Um, 50. Yeah, it won't let me add a stop. This happened last week. It was either last week or the week before. The same thing happened where I actually made a video and it was a joke. It was funny. It's still kind of funny. It was crazy, but it was still funny that I took a position and it had, you know, price had moved like maybe 3-4 ticks, and it had me at like 3,000, 4,500, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I'm really like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on. So I almost just want to refresh this real well. Yeah, I'm going to. 1 sec. I'm just going to refresh real quick. All right. All right, so we got less than a minute for this candle to close. About another 45, 45 seconds before this candle is going to close. So yeah, we would need to be. Um, yeah, this one is gonna be. Oh, it might be stretching a little bit on that. I'm not sure. It's a little bit of an overlap. A little bit. So what I'm talking about when I say overlap is I'm looking at, and this again goes back to Friday. So this is the actual 4 p.m. candle from Friday. So you could look at this and say these are kind of relative equal highs. Like these are levels that I would be targeting to say, okay, that's like the low hanging fruit profit levels, especially at establishing an opening range, because you don't know, we don't know, right? But the reason I'm saying that is because even though this 405 has taken, again, the sell side liquidity from this 5-minute candle, it's unclear. It would seem likely, but it's still going to be unclear as to whether or not we're going to be able to reach this threshold, or if we clear the 6, we close back inside. Like that's a possibility, especially looking at fair value as being one aspect, the other aspect being, again, establishing the opening range for Sunday. Understanding that we've got a lot of economic shuffling to do for this week. So there are a couple of things that could be going on. So let's see how things play. They play nicely. Up over and see, did that move? No, it just took it off. That is so it's so irritating. I think what I might be willing to do is if we can get to, if we can reach the reach back up to close above the 6 and actually even close above the 4, I would be willing to just kind of, go completely risk off, basically moving my stop to break even, or just like slightly into profit to kind of just give it room to see what it wants to do, and see if we don't actually come all the way back up to take out this level up here. I know it kind of it would seem like it defeats the whole purpose of continuing lower, but as I love to say, I will continue to say it till somebody actually just tells me shut up, stop saying it, which is always bound to happen. Like we've if we've gone down, like there's some level of retracement that's going to occur, so we should be going up for some reason. So yeah, I would be willing to go risk off just to see how we move up, and if it comes back, stops me out at basically break even, where sat in a position and really didn't, I guess you could say, benefit from it from the PA account. Like, I'm okay with that, just to again see what allow the price to develop and show me like what are you doing, what are you setting up for overnight. And because I won't be here in the morning, basically to trade the open, the pre-New York session, and then into the open, kind of interested to see, like I said, what sets up overnight, and then I've got to go in for a few hours, and by the time I get back to the house, see how ultimately how that panned out. So I think that'll be something interesting to participate and partake in. Yeah, the platform is just doing some like real wonky stuff. I'm just looking over here in the corner, and sometimes it'll pop up and say like API something. Yeah, now it's saying API reconnected, disconnect. Like, yeah, just behave. All right, we've got about another 3 minutes before this candle that is printing right now closes. So, a little bit under 50% back within this the 6 p.m. opening candle, but moving slowly but steadily in the right direction for our little opening week position. Excuse me. Yeah, price is just like flat. Really flat. This was kind of one of the reasons why, not so much coming into this week, but coming into like even, wanting to do this live today, I'm not going to, to be honest, I was a little hesitant because I kept, I was thinking to myself, okay, if the price action isn't that great, like some Sundays, like you're watching paint dry, right? You're watching an ant colony be built. That's kind of a little bit more. There's more action in that. There are more moving parts in that. But I mean, it's still a grind in and of itself. But yeah, I was hesitant because I'm thinking, okay, this might be tough. So, all right, less than a minute for a 625 candle closure. 15 seconds before closure. Let's see what we get. Now this one, actually, this will be a closure inside here. So maybe we get a pop up to here. We'll see. Yeah, there's something going on with the API and the connection, because it's not even showing that it printed the damn candle. We're still on 625, but my timer over here says 6:30 and 45. We're almost a minute into this, and let me refresh this one more time. I swear, like, recordings are a thing, okay? So if I don't refresh that and you don't see this, you're like, stop it. He's being dramatic. He's doing it to be dramatic. I am not, sir and ma'am. I am really not. So, insanity. Oh, man. So again, just to reiterate what I'd said a little bit ago, if we clear the 6, I'd like to clear the 6 and this 4 p.m. from Friday. Now, if we can get through both of those, I would say I'm looking at just going break even. So I know conventional wisdom would say close it and take what you can take, which is also a thing, right? That's also another thing where you just kind of say, hey, look, let's see what else develops. But and actually that might not be a bad idea. Let's see. This is going to be interesting. Yeah, I think I'm going to go back to my original. I'm not talking myself out of it, but I'm talking you through what my thought process would be. So because I'm looking at this candle that causes that, like the second candle in this fair value. So if we're above here, that means technically if we're closing even in here, if we're closing in here, I'll probably just go break even. We'll just go break even. That one I'm just going to get out of, and that was my combine. So that's a quick 7 whatever that was. 725 or whatever. And we're already up here, so we'll go just inside. Excuse me, here. and then we'll just hold this on the PA. Now I know you might be wondering, you might be asking yourself, well, wait a minute, Jeremy, why would you close the position on your combine and just go just above break even on the PA? Like, why wouldn't you hold the combine? Well, there are a couple of reasons for that, and I'm actually using that combine to I'm only taking certain trades in the combine. Just say it. I just want to say it that way. So I'm only looking at basically like 6 p.m. opening range positions there. Looking at market open, like just pre-New York or New York open, and where available, like my New York PM, which I don't think that I've documented any of those. I may have recorded just for like my own personal journaling to be able to go back and kind of see, what the price action, like I'm doing it, I guess you could say live while I'm recording it, but the ability to be able to go back and watch those recordings and make sure that I'm not missing anything, or to go back and see something that I wasn't conscientious of when either taking a position or looking at specific price action. So there's a reason for it. And I'm not greedy. I try not to be. Okay, so it's 6:36 here, and this is one of the reasons why I always talk about low-hanging fruit, right? So this is kind of just hanging out here, but when we talk about candle range a lot, or I talk about candle range a lot, I know you've heard a lot of people talk about it. You still have this candle up here. Let me take some of the annotations off so you could just see candles. So this big bullish candle here, you still have buy side sitting up top, right? So we're inside of that candle. We've clearly closed several times inside here. So again, depending on what your perspective is and how you look at markets, how you look at how price delivers and books, you may be content to just hold this, right? And this is one of the reasons why I said I'll just go break even down here, seeing if it's going to deliver and if it's going to push through, because it's obviously it's a constant ebb and flow. It's a constant, we're going to, grab liquidity from one side, or we'll sweep out buy and come back and take sell, or create interterm liquidity, or we'll accumulate before running or distributing. Like, we understand what that process is, but it's a matter of just kind of trying to understand what the delivery was in certain areas, if price has been paired, if it's been balanced in certain places. So when you're looking at candle range, you could say, well, was the price balanced, or is there an imbalance residing above or below an area? Well, here within this candle, there's an imbalance or fair value that exists just above it. So in my mind, if I took a position all the way back here, I could say, okay, well, you could take profit if I've got more than one contract, which I don't. And I could say I could take profit here, or if I'm willing to kind of just, eat it, if you will, I'll take, what is that, $40 or whatever. Like it's more about just kind of understanding what's at play. Not what's at stake, but what's the play right now, right? And in my mind, the play is we started short, we came back and basically made this fair value an integral part of the Sunday/Monday open. So it's played its part, right? The 6 p.m. opening candle is kind of fulfilling its role right now to maybe get us back into a premium, to where maybe based on what I'm going to be looking at for the remainder, not so much of tonight, but maybe into tomorrow, when I'm back, where I could actually take a look after the open and see what the pre-New York open and what the initial opening is, and that initial balance opening. Is there going to be an opportunity within what we've already framed out to potentially consider shorts? Or do we just kind of sit on our hands, do nothing, and just see how price plays out until, you know, maybe it meets one of our requirements, or it meets a certain criteria under which we can have somewhat of an A plus or closest to A plus setup as possible. So yeah, this may just play back and forth. This is the other reason why I just wanted to get out of that trade in my combine. It's just easier. All right, so let's see. This is 640. So see if 640 actually pushes through here. Bumps us up. Also, for those of you watching, if you wouldn't mind giving a like, I'd appreciate it. And also, I'm actually trying to field some ideas for maybe some new videos for the channel that you guys would be interested in. If it's something that I'm knowledgeable on, or you know, you have questions about, stuff like that, I always enjoy sharing what works for me. And I'm not going to say my unique perspective, because I think that quite a few people have unique perspectives on, you know, a lot of the underlying fundamentals for trading the markets and speculating. But I'm open to, you know, ideas of videos and subjects and things like that you guys would like to see on the channel, videos that you'd like to see. So feel free, either in the comments or after the video's posted, my community tab, you could feel free to just go under whatever post on the community tab and just let me know, you know, what you think and what you'd like to see. I take my big head off so you can actually see the whole you see the chart. So I'm surprised somebody hadn't chimed in and be like, thank goodness he didn't put his head in the way. He's always talking about these zones, but his head is in the zone. We don't know what zone you're talking about, Jeremy, because your head's there. Is your head the zone? Like, yeah, it is the supply and the demand. Yeah. All right, little under a minute and a half before 6:40 candle closes. And technically, the 6 p.m. has been cleared, I'd like to say. Could look at this a little closer. And I would say, yeah, it's like just a wick through. That's a 4-point. Good grief. That would explain why. Yeah, literally just a wick through at 6. So by the hair of a chin wick. That's what we got there. Okay, so now that might, yeah, we may see this come back into this fair value. But I'm going to change the color. That has been met. This has not. So see if we get a close back through here. And if it's a wick through, I'm not concerned. If it's if this is a body back through, it's potentially going to come back in here. And as minimal as this is, it's still a volume imbalance regardless. It doesn't matter how big or small, like it is what it is. So closure back inside here, or basically a body through, would be enough for me to consider it's going to come all the way back. It'll probably paint this minimal volume imbalance and then this fair value. So price may come before it runs. It's just based on how it's hanging out in here, and it's not hanging for no reason. So like I said, a wick through here is one thing, a body back in here or a body through, yeah, I'd be a little leery of it. Yeah, it's coming on down, isn't it? Okay, there's a wick through. Now, in this case, what time is it? So 6:48. Yeah, that's not a, yeah. So it may literally pop all the way back up, or it'll continue down because we've got fair value here too. So let's see. And this is one of the things that, for me at least, I don't know how others would treat a situation like this. So basically, that very small profit that exists on this PA account, that would literally be it for me until the rest of the opening like finished off. Meaning, I'm not looking to get back up here now. I'm literally just gonna let it do whatever it's gonna do until 7 o'clock, and then we'll see the range. Like, we can kind of already see what the range is, right? We already know what it is. The range is literally the 6 p.m. open, this high, and this mitigation point here. which is 605. So if in the next 11 minutes price stays in here, this is your initial 6 p.m. opening range for Sunday. And the only, not the only, but I will say, the 7 p.m. candle can give you a hint as to whether or not you'd want to re-enter in a given direction, but we'll go a little bit past that, and I'll share that with you. It's not anything that some people probably don't know, but there and again, you may not look at price that way or see it that way. But like I said, sometimes even in a range or what some people call consolidation, I call it accumulation. I don't even refer to it as consolidation anymore. Even in a market that's accumulating, sometimes price is gonna give you a couple of hints. It'll give you a clue, and it's gonna give you like a really big hint in terms of what the next target or inefficiency that it may potentially be reaching for before it runs in the opposing direction, or if it continues. So let's see if price gives us a hint here in another 8.5 minutes. And realistically, like, we don't even have to wait the 8.5 minutes. It's no different than the hint that was given here, which is why I took that position. The hint is usually, and I'll just say this, and like I said, not new, nothing that I invented. It just came from watching price. The same way that you can look at candle range is the same way that you could look at any candle. It's fractal. It's a fractal concept, but it's fractal within the relationship to how price is delivering. So very plain English speaking, if we had this move back, right? So the 6 p.m. candle opened, it closed. The 605 moved back into an area of fair value. But what did it do? And I told you, it cleared. If you look at just this candle, it could be anything. Daily, 4 hour, doesn't matter what it is. I'm on a 5 minute. If you're just looking at this candle and you say, hey, it grabbed sell side, right? And yes, it closed below it. So it didn't really tell you anything other than it just took this liquidity. So you don't immediately start looking for this until you get this candle that closes inside. Then you can just look and see how the next candle plays out, and if it's moving higher, the likelihood is, yeah, you can expect a certain amount of probability that it's going here. So when you get tight ranges, right, and you're looking to see what side, right, could price possibly be popping out of, I would just suggest, and you can do it off the 5 minute, you can do it off the hourly, whatever time frame you're comfortable with. Just look at those candles at the top of the hour, right? If you're in a tight range like this, and say 7 p.m. opens in here, we already know we've been back here. But if we're back inside of a specific candle range, say this candle, which is probably gonna prove its worth here in a second. So it's 653. So this candle will be closing in less than a minute, but this is just to give you an idea. So this is 645. This will be 650. The next candle will be 655. So let's just say the 7 p.m. candle opens down here, right? If 7 opens here and you see sell side taken and a closure back inside 7, again, we've already been down here, right? It's possible that it runs this out again, because this is now the low for your Sunday initial balance. You want to see one side run out. So if it runs this out, let me use my path tool. I'm sorry, guys. say 7 opens, clear sell side, and you see a wick through, a closure back up and in. That was horrible. That was horrible. But you get, I think you guys get the idea, right? Oh, it started out so good until I got hung up there. But yeah, so seven opens, sell side taken, it moves back into fair value. It might even sweep this out, but it wicks, like this is a wick and not a body, and it closes back. Right? It closes back within the initial opening range. You're in here, so you could literally treat these two candles as one. You could treat it as one candle range. That was what sell side was taken. And what would you likely anticipate if it closes back inside that range? You can anticipate the opposing side of the range taken. Does it work all the time? It depends. I'll tell you just to go back test it. But you just sat here and you watched me do it with a 5-minute candle. So, like I said, just something to take with you, especially if you're going to sit and watch price. And if you're not looking to act on it, you're just wanting to study or watch or learn or whatever. And you're like, hey, I wonder which side this might take. If you don't have a broader bias or a broader context to look for trades, sometimes that helps. And apparently while I was running my mouth, that's 650, so 655. Yeah. And again, the reverse can be true too. I'm talking about coming down here and clearing, but the reverse can be true. That's still the high of this range. So there's nothing that's saying that 7 can't print and run out the high and sell off, which honestly would be in line with my bias. And these being run out, starting with the blue horizontal ray 4-hour. I need to, did I ever annotate those? I didn't. I just stuck them on the damn chart. I probably want to go label them. I mean, I know what they are off the top of my head. So I guess that's okay that I know, right? All right, another 2 minutes before we get to 7 p.m. and conclude this this opening range shenanigan. So this is one of those enter kind of situations, right? We had a close below. Okay, so did we close back above that? Or did we close back inside? Because this is actually the 7 p.m. candle. Now, I could be hella wrong, which I'm totally okay with. Totally okay. But unless this pushes all the way up and through, which if it does, no problem. The 705 candle may actually be taking sell side. Now, if this clears all the way through, I would still look for maybe, well, I don't want to say that. Yeah, that's a head fake. So this is going to actually, it should clear through, and it may actually clear here. So between the 7 and 705, maybe. And then you may see it collapse back inside. Yeah, this is again, somebody would look at this candle and say, I just picked a random candle from Friday. I really didn't. I picked a 4 p.m. candle from Friday. So yeah, closure back inside for 7. Maybe 705 runs out the high, runs this high out. Maybe 710 back into fair value, and then I don't know, maybe we close back inside. It's kind of holding its own with the CE. Like, right spot on. So and this is still open. So yeah, this is kind of interesting. It's interesting. So this candle's gonna close like in another 10 seconds. So let's just see. I'm I'm literally interested to see like which way this is going. I'm thinking it's going long. It should, but you know, just based on how I'm looking at it, it should clear long and close back inside. But my my factor is this fair value here. Um, this is gonna be, and I don't know if it's tonight, if it's London, if it's whenever, but this is gonna invert at some point, and then it's gonna operate as an inversion. So this is gonna invert to a bearish and then probably revert back to a bullish fair value at some point. This is kind of like the key. But, you know, like I said, just don't know when. Um, and this could be the key if we actually get into this area of fair value, which we honestly we should, um, before London or anything. Like we should get there as we go into Asia after 8 p.m. But like I said, I'm not, you know, we're not hanging out that long. I'm not gonna hang out that long. You're just waiting for one more pop here. Because we've essentially we've already done this one here. So this is just a revisit. But the additional should be here. Like this is what we should be reaching for in this candle, either the 705 or the 710. We should be reaching there. And now this can go away. Yeah, this candle's not going to close for another, again, another 2 minutes. But that should be 2 minutes for it to get up and above that 4 p.m. And then, you know, see what happens. Interestingly enough, like I will say, just based on how Friday was left, like if you notice, like all of the green horizontal rays, like this would be my expectancy. So I'll just say this now. Like I said, it may not occur this way, but this level might get souped, to be honest. These are relative equal highs. I would not be surprised to see price maybe come up here and wick through this and close back inside and just short. So literally just come up, pop its head out, come back up in here and do one of these numbers. Now, is that going to happen tonight all in one day? It could. But that's the beauty and the wonder of speculating and trading these markets, because it becomes interesting when I think that's the one thing when you're anticipating certain moves like that. It's not a how can I describe it? It's not like an excitement like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to catch this. It's not that kind of excitement. It's like when you can see certain things that look like they may actually, you know, have some merit just in terms of price delivery. it allows you to kind of say, okay, this is what you'd be looking for. You're looking for certain price delivery. So even if you have to step away for a while or a day or whatever it is, when you come back, it's not a surprise to you, or it's not a situation where you don't necessarily know how you would want to react, or if you're looking for something else for the ability to position yourself from a risk management perspective to see, is it even something that's viable for you to look into in terms of taking a position. So just interesting. All right, so 710. That's fair value. Yeah, it may pop up. We'll see. But at any rate, folks, I'm gonna do that thing that Snagglepuss from that 70s cartoon would do. I think it was 60s or 70s. I am going to exit stage left for now, but I really, really appreciate you guys tuning in for the live today. I appreciate it. Like talking to you, sharing things with you. I don't know that once I'm back at the house tomorrow, it just kind of depends. If I'm back early, and early for me would probably be before 10:30. It's possible that I'll be on and I'll stream. Just, it may be a tape read session, but as I've said many times already, even if it is, tomorrow is probably going to be the day, or tomorrow at Globex Open, 6 p.m. tomorrow evening. Those are probably going to be like the only 2 times for this week that I'm actually going to trade in a like in my combine, like take a position in my combine account. PA is possible, later in the week, but like I said, just not worth it. So that said, I'll try to update you guys before I go live. Maybe I'll do that on Blue Sky. Also, yeah, just follow me if you're not on Blue Sky. Create an account. Follow me there. I'm just trying to build up my following there. Just kind of started that account maybe a week or 2 ago. Haven't done too many posts there, but yeah, just looking to kind of build that out and build some level of community here where we can get some feedback, some good conversation, some good speculator talk. So aside from that, again, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Richard, thanks for the follow and the sub. I appreciate it. Leave me, like I said earlier, if you got ideas for videos, things you want to talk about, things you want to see, things you want me to kind of go over. If I know, I know. If I don't know, I'm going to tell you, and then I'll go find the information for you and share what I found. All right? But until then, I'll see you guys later. Take care.